This video is sponsored by Wing Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution.
Hello everyone, we hope you're all doing very well. Today we're in the unofficial Hercules mod. We're going to do a video about cold start procedure, about taxi to runway, about takeoff, a little bit of flight, about landing, and then about shutdown. Now, it's no good me telling you how to do it because I don't know. But we've got Captain Gaming here, he doesn't make it, but he's affiliated with it. Say hello, Captain Gaming.
Hello everyone.
And thank you for coming by. So, if you're doing this, please I'm going to assume that you've watched my how to set up the controls for the Hercules video. If not, I will link it in the video description. Please go and watch that, otherwise a lot of this won't make sense. Let's go for cold start gaming.
First and foremost, we got to wake the airplane up, and that is all the way top right. You got to flip the battery switch on, so that's panel 1 as I call it, and right click and that'll turn the battery on.
Done.
Alright, next, to the left of that, you'll see the electrical selector. I call it the electrical selector switch. You're going to flip that over to APU, right-click.
Done.
Alright, next we're going to actually turn on the APU, so down by the fire handles, you're going to right-click, hold, till that green light comes on, and we're going to wait for it to spool up.
Okay, that's busy spooling now.
Meantime, I'm going to put my HUD down, actually, so when the airplane comes on, I have a HUD.
Right, how do I do that? Just click it somehow?
You just click it. Yep, up there, there's a knob on the right side of it you can click.
Bing. Lovely.
My APU is up and running.
Yep, same here.
Awesome. So now we're going to go back up to near the electrical panel. We're going to go to the bleed air panel. Right below the electrical selector switch, there's an APU button. We're going to go ahead and left-click that. And we're going to wait for that panel to get to 40.
Roger. Done.
All right, perfect. Now we're going to go down to engine number 1, right-click, hold until the green light comes on. And then you can look out to your left and see engine 1 start turning.
Oh, cool. Right. Right-click. And when does the green... Oh, there it goes. Right, I'm going to go outside. Stand by. Yeah, look at it turn, boys.
Now, I will say, if you're in multiplayer and with someone else, there's usually some desync, or they have it programmed to be like less taxing on systems. Like right now, I see you turning 1 and 2.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just to make it less taxing on people's computers in the server.
Roger. What happens next?
Well, we keep starting 1 through 4. So once the APU bleed goes back up to 40, you can go ahead and right-click, hold number 2 or 3 or 4, and start in any order you want.
So can we start all at once, or only one at once?
Only 1 at the beginning, and then once you get about 2 of the engines started, then you can start 3 and 4 at the same time.
Roger, because we'll have enough power or enough whatever.
You don't have enough air to turn the turbine.
All right, stand by.
I'm going to go ahead and set my parking brake because I always make mistakes and I want to make sure I don't move.
Right, how do we do that? Is pull it out?
Yeah, pull it out, push in your toe brakes, then let go of the toe brakes.
Done. So I went toe brakes in. I should put that. Let me put my. I went toe brakes in, and then I pulled it out, let go of my toe brakes, and then let go of this, and it stays out. Lovely.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to start my engines 3 and 4 now. Stand by.
Getting a bit loud, so I'm going to hit my windows.
Windows. So left window.
Left shift.
Or right click. I like to do.
Yeah, I can right click both of them.
Roger. Done.
And then I'm going to close my crew door, which is left control D, and my paratrooper door, which is left alt D.
Left control D. And left alt and D.
So much more quieter. Now, once you have all 4 of those engines up and running, we're going to go back up, and we're going to turn off the APU bleed air.
Hold up. My front door has not closed, which means I pressed something wrong.
Just try left control D again.
Oh, it worked. I'm maybe an idiot as usual. And the rear door is closed. The ramp's still down, but yeah, it's fine.
That's fine.
Right, all engines are... Let me just double check. Yeah, all engines are starting and going, and my small doors are closed.
Perfect. So we're going to go back up to the top. We're going to turn off the APU bleed.
The button, yeah?
Yep, right-click it.
Done.
Left on the electrical selector switch to off.
Done.
Above the bleed, yep.
Yeah.
All right, so then we're going to go back down and actually turn off the APU. So go ahead and switch it to stop.
Left click, done.
Technically, your aircraft is completely started and ready to airlift any cargo out.
Brilliant. Started up. Oh, what about our ramps? Our ramps. Don't forget about ramps.
Well, you can put the ramp up if you're not loading up any cargo.
Oh, right. So let's pretend we've loaded up our cargo, which we'll cover in another mission. We'll cover in another video, sorry. So from here, I used the command that we bound in the HOTAS, yeah?
On panel 3? Panel 2?
Yes, landing gear.
Okay. All right, so to the right of that, you'll see a hydraulics panel.
Landing lights, hydraulics, roger.
Yep. So you should see a green 0 down there. To
Roger.
the right of that, there's an auxiliary hydraulic pump.
Yeah.
You gotta switch that on.
Right.
That's the hydraulic pump for the cargo door.
Yeah.
And that goes up to 3,000.
Yeah. Do I leave the pump on or will it turn itself off? How does that work?
It'll stop at 3,000. And then I turn it off right before takeoff. It holds its pressure.
I noticed there's a bunch of lighting here. I'm guessing none of it works in terms of...
Actually, the bottom left taxi light does, and the landing lights do, and the extended landing lights do. Just not like wing lights or anti-collision, anything like that.
Roger. Right, I'm going to put my door up now. Stand by with the button that we... Oh, it's already up. It's done itself up. Right, so it must have a automatic feature in it.
If we push the button before we turn the hydraulic pump on, once it gets pressure, it still does that command.
Right, okay, fine. So that's that, guys. Anything else before we taxi?
Alright, so the Hercules taxis the best under low speed ground idle. So even if you're heavily loaded, this is still the best way to taxi it. 1, it uses less fuel while you're on the ground. 2, it's less wear and tear on the engine. So what you do is you throw it into beta reverse. Everyone, it does differently. It'll either automatically throw it into ground idle, or you have to move the throttle around to get it aligned with ground idle, so you can just look at the throttle and do that. And then right below the throttle, you're going to push the low speed ground idle buttons, and you should see low come on each one of those buttons.
Roger, I had a bit of a moment. I ended up going backwards.
Hey,
right.
Remember when I said to keep the parking brake on?
Yeah. Oh, whoops! I accidentally. God damn it! Right.
Okay.
Follow those orders. I'm gonna just throttle forward a little bit and then back to make sure I'm fully idle. Then I'm gonna press the beta reverse button, and I'm hopefully not gonna go flying. And why is that not working? There it is. It said I found it a bit buggy. I had to move the stick about a little bit to get it to work. Did you have that?
Yeah, it's still in work in progress.
Okay, fine. And then you said move it to ground idle.
Yep, so if you look at the throttle, the middle of the throttle should be around ground idle.
Yeah, and then you said a light comes on somewhere.
Nope. So right below the throttle, you'll see the 4 buttons that say low speed ground idle.
Uh-huh.
You're going to click each one of those to put it in low speed ground idle.
Yep.
Alright, so now we're good to taxi. You can take off your brake and give it a little bit of power. You want to keep it in between flight idle and ground idle. But you'll notice she'll probably taxi on her own a little bit.
Right, so take the brake off, yeah?
Yep, go for it. I'll let you go first.
Right. Okay, I'm doing it. Don't want to go too far forward. Okay, I get it. I get it, guys. I'm going to use my rudder to steer because that's how I've got it set up.
Yep.
Oh, he went really... Oh, no, it's fine, it's fine. I thought I had it set up the wrong way around for a minute, but I don't. Right. Okay, guys, come and meet me at the runway.
Yep.
Well, I'll have actually you in the lead gaming so I can follow you. That's probably been the best thing.
You gotta make sure you bring your flaps up.
Right, flaps. Roger. I'm bringing them down now. Multiple clicks of the flaps down button. I'm going to go right up to the edge here. Because what I don't want to do is bang someone's wing. Stand by, guys.
Good, I see it. So there's something I want to walk you through and show you that's pretty cool as well. So you have your HUD down, right?
Roger.
Okay, so to the left you see that to the left is your speed where it says 30.
Yeah.
That's your speed. So something cool you can do is you see the flight computer down there next to your throttle?
Stand by. Throttle, yeah, the CDU or whatever it's going to be, yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to look for the second button, second column, second row. It says buttons that says told. Yep, press the told button.
Done.
Go ahead, go to aircraft weight.
Done.
Hit external data, bottom right button over there.
External data, yep.
So nothing should really change on it because we don't have any cargo. But if you had cargo, it would populate that weight right there.
Yeah.
So then we're going to hit the button next to towed, which is index, and go ahead and hit takeoff data. And this tells you your V speeds of last point of being able to say no go on the takeoff, your rotate speed and your climb speed. But if you look in your HUD, you now have those V speeds with carrots pointing at them.
Yeah, I got them. Very clever.
We don't need flaps for takeoff. We're pretty late.
No, remember I'm still in my ground idle for weird things, so I'm not going anywhere at the moment.
So what's going to happen is when we start going, it's going to let me line up a little bit better.
Do I have a flap indicator anywhere? Because I can't tell if mine are up or down.
What, your flaps?
Yeah.
So your flap switch, I guess, is down all the way bottom right in the center console. It's the big old silver square. You got to look pretty much beside you, in between the pilot seat, below the throttle.
Oh yeah, right, gotcha. So I'm going to go flaps just up.
Yep, all the way up.
Okay, done.
All right, so what the takeoff procedure that we've been using in the Hercules, it's toe brakes on,
done.
Full throttle.
Yeah.
Okay, so that turns off low ground. That turns off the low speed ground idle instantly.
Gotcha.
So you're gonna look at your middle MFD in front of you. You're gonna wait for the HP gauges to like level out and stabilize around 4760 ish. Once it's stable, you release the parking brake, or not the brake, but you release the toe brakes and then activate toga.
Mine's at 180 because I'm on idle. Should I be something else?
Yep. So put your toe brakes on.
Done.
Okay. So then power up full speed.
Ooh,
Just
hello.
put your throttle all the way forward.
Woo.
So that'll. Yep. So we're gonna wait for those to stabilize that bar.
Done.
Okay. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna release the target brake and hit the takeoff power.
Take off power.
And then you'll see your throttle would go all the way forward to take off.
Copy.
So then you just use your toe brake, your rudder a little bit to keep it center line. Your ground steering turns off automatically once you get rolling. Pretty into it. So there's V1 and there's V rotate.
So V rotate.
And I just realized for some reason
V1.
my my stick isn't bound for some reason.
How embarrassing for you, gaming! You're going right off the edge.
I'm gonna get through.
It is a Grim Reaper's movie, so this is kind of relevant. Gear up, cap, flaps are already up. Let's go and watch gaming's sad demise.
Nope.
Reverse thrust, baby! Oh god!
Full reverse.
I opened my friggin'.
Yeah, you did.
I opened my thing out of excitement. Right, you come and meet us in the air. I've got to get my tailgate back up because I'm an idiot. Now I should say, valued viewers, if you're watching, cruise stations buttons 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm flying from here. I could fly also from here. Sweet, it doesn't work. Because I'm on multiplayer? Question mark. Yes, must be.
Oh, you can't hit 2. 2 doesn't work.
Yeah.
In multiplayer.
Right, didn't know that. 3. That's there. 4. That's there. 5. That's there. I'm trying to look for the one where my gate is. There. Oh, the gate's up. Lovely. I've run out of pressure and my gate stopped.
Yeah, did you? Oh yeah, you turned off your auxiliary.
Yeah. B fingers. I'm back up to 3,000 now. I'm all good. Live and learn, boys. Live and learn. Where's my Tuxtor? There he is. Hey, Tuxtor.
Hello.
How's it hanging?
Don't let RC fly it.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I'd have to. Listen to.
Well.
Oh, poor old gaming.
Apparently, you blow up going so fast backwards. It doesn't like it.
Hey, it's a learning process. Come on, gaming. Get in the air. Chop, chop. Get a hot start. When you're airborne, you've got loads of weird symbology in the middle of the HUD. No, I've got the velocity vector, I know. Witch's hat, I know. Nothing else, I know. Is it all BS or is it real stuff?
So, a lot of... What the heck was that? Anyways, some of it, I don't know either. But I can walk you through the things I do know.
Send.
Alright, so top left, we'll start there. You have your speed, obviously.
Yep.
Below that, you have your G meter. So 1G, when you take turns or go inverted, it'll tell you how many Gs you're pulling.
Roger.
To the bottom of that is your ground speed. So how fast you're going across the ground.
Very cool.
Top right, you have your altitude.
Barometric. No, right. I
yeah.
see both. I see both.
No.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, both are there, and then you have obviously your vertical speed above the radar altimeter. The radar altimeter disappears after 5,000 feet.
Roger.
And all the way at the top, you got your heading tape. Then all the way at the bottom, you have your turn indicator, so how many degrees of a turn you're doing. For all the stuff in the middle, I can't really tell you. I'd have to ask someone.
Roger.
I've never really used it.
Okay, yeah, what do you know about the Autopilot and how that works so far?
Alright, so Autopilot's still somewhat a work in progress. It does the basics though. So it'll do auto throttle, you can set that, altitude, hold, and you can do altitude set, we'll get into that a little bit later. Heading hold, and you can do a heading select. Coming soon, or whenever he can get it to work, you can set up waypoints in the Hercules, and the Autopilot will go to the waypoints. Alright, so we'll start with the easiest one, altitude hold, right?
Yep.
In order to turn Autopilot on, you're going to look down to remember where the low speed ground idle was?
Yep.
Alright, so to the left of that, you'll see two up and down switches. One says pilot, one says co-pilot.
Yep.
Alright, so you're going to flip the pilot, and you're going to engage that by left-clicking it.
So these are the silver switches, okay, engage. Co-pilot or pilot, did you say, sorry?
Pilot.
Done.
Alright, so then you're going to get to the altitude you want to be at. So, like, I'm at 4850. In front of you, like, directly above the MFD in front of you, there you'll see the row of buttons. It'll say ALT, SET, HDG, all of those across the front of you.
Roger.
Alright, so altitude hold, you just click altitude.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Alright, so then you can just worry about your heading and throttle.
Oh, so that's what you got to do. You don't have an engage button or anything.
Nope.
Very good. Okay, I've got my altitude hold on and all is well.
Sweet. So if you want to, if you're heading I'm heading 305, you can go ahead and hit the heading hold, which is the HDG button.
Done. So you can have multiple on at once. Very good.
Oh yeah, you can have these on. I have auto throttle on as well at 200, so that's the bottom right one. So you're going to want to click auto throttle, and then you'll hear like the engine spool down because it'll set the speed at what you're going now. So to the left of that panel, you'll see a number in a box, right? Yep. So the scroll wheel below it, you're going to want to move that to the desired number you want.
Right. So this is on the left of this, we've got a number in a box that says 200.
Right.
Scroll wheel on the left.
No, below it. The scroll wheel below it.
Oh, right, yeah. It's actively changing it.
Yeah, so that box should be changing when you're scrolling it, right?
Ooh, so I'm catching you up just by setting my autopilot. Never seen anything like this. Well, auto throttle, whatever you want to call it. That's cool.
Yep, so she's not a fast girl. You know, I've only gotten her to a max of 312, and then it started yelling at me for overspeeding. So, next thing we can go over real quick is we'll go over the heading. So, if you look to the top of your HUD, your heads-up display, you'll see your heading tape, right?
Roger.
You'll probably have to zoom in for this, Cap. Yep. So at the very top, you'll see the number that you're going indicated in the box in the middle.
Yep.
To the left of there, you'll see HDG and a number, right?
Yep.
So that's what's set in there to go that direction. I think it's just like a thrown-in number. Yep. So to the left of your MFD, in front of you, by the way, that MFD doesn't work. It's just a pretty picture, as we call it.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, that one doesn't work. That's why we have our HUD.
Mm-hmm.
To the left of there, you have the heading selector switch. It'll say heading bud mod underneath it.
Okay.
It'll be a circle with the triangle to the left of...
Oh, right, yeah. Click that. We'll do that.
Oh, no, don't. You scroll it. So when you scroll that number up top will change.
Yep.
So I'm going to scroll it to the right.
I got it,
I'm going to go 308, and the plane will turn to go to that number.
308. Very clever. So it looks like the left number looks like the commanded heading, and the boxed one is the actual heading.
Yes.
That seems to be what it is. Roger. Very good.
All right, so you got that.
Yep.
So now we have the desired heading. Let's change the desired altitude, shall we? Mm-hmm. This one is a little bit trickier. So you'll see to the left of all of the autopilot buttons, you'll see ref/mode, right?
Yep.
All right, so you have altitude set and barometric set. I don't really touch the barometric set. Some people can go and set the proper one. I've never had an issue with it.
Roger.
The altitude select. So where your altitude is to the right, you go ahead and start flipping that switch around. Oop, for some reason, mine's already set at 10,000, which is definitely not where I want to go. Let's just level it off at 5,000, right? So I got to scroll and look at this thing.
Yeah, 5,000.
5,000. All right.
Yeah.
So when you have it set, as you can tell, the aircraft isn't moving. So what we need to do is we need to unselect altitude hold. So left click, or sorry, right click on it. Start pulling up to the desired degree of what you want to do, and then slap on vertical speed, and then turn on vertical speed, and then oops, I've already passed 5,000 feet.
So should I get to 5,000 and then press Alt? Is that the thing I should do?
What it's supposed to do, I should say, is it should automatically level itself out. So I'm going to go up to 6,000 just to make sure. Actually, I'll go to 5,500 because it's not that high up. Once you get, I'm going to go like a 5-degree climb, and I'm going to hit vertical speed, and it's going to hold that supposedly until I hit 5,000, which it didn't do. So I'll have to let them know.
Roger. Okay, fine, but we get the idea.
Yep, but basically the vertical speed is going to be your vertical speed hold, so it's the same thing as your like path hold in the Warthog.
Yep.
So if you need to climb, you got to climb. So I'm at 5850. So
right. Anything else on the autopilot?
I know a lot of people when they land or when you turn off Autopilot, you'll hear like the Autopilot alarm going off. It's Shift A to turn that off.
Left shift and A, yeah?
Yep, left shift and A, and that'll silence the annunciator.
Right, so I can turn these autopilots off with right click.
Yeah, and then it won't go off until you turn that little silver switch that we flipped.
Autopilot.
Yep.
Down to the right, so you do that, and then it'll yell at you.
Yep. Okay. Everything seems to be working okay. That's autopilot. What do you want to do next? Are we going in for a landing?
We can turn back and do a landing if you'd like.
Right, okay, let's go. Okay, we're back now. We're going to get in formation with Super Gaming, and you're going to talk us through a typical Hercules landing, because I haven't got the foggiest clue what to do.
Alright, so you're used to fast jets coming in at 200 knots with their pants on fire. This thing does not like that. You'll be coming down and touching around about 100 knots, completely empty.
Wow.
Yeah, so she floats. She's very nice to land. So we're in the pattern. I'm going to do about a 170 knots indicated flight. And then when we come in for base, I'll slow down a little bit to 160. On approach, we'll do about 145-ish. And when you start doing your approach, you'll notice some carrots pop up in your speed indicator. Same thing with the takeoff stuff with the flight computer. On your way back, you can actually go into the flight computer and see what your speeds are for your approach, your threshold, and your touchdown speeds. So I'm going to flaps 50, so be careful of that because I will be slowing down.
Roger.
Technically, if we're completely empty, you don't even need flaps to land, but I like doing it because it looks pretty.
Roger.
So there's about 150 on my base, 60.
Landing gear.
It's things like, God, you know what the biggest challenge I have is it's like driving a giant oil tank. You have to think ahead of yourself because it reacts so slowly. Whereas in a Mirage or something, you just put your brake out and it stops this. You've got to constantly be on your game.
So what I did notice is you put curve on this. For this bird, you don't really need curve.
Roger. Noted. Get out.
So I'm at 142 knots coming in, and I'm at this is a pretty short final, coming down at almost 15-degree angle. So
are you going full flaps or are you just sticking on 50%?
I'm going to stick on 50.
Roger, and I shall.
Yep.
I'm using my deflector as well simply because it just helps me kind of stick with the information. Usually you wouldn't use a deflector. Yep. Right, all is actually pretty well. This is a mad approach, but this is Hercules, I suppose. This is what it does. Like the kind of steepness of angle. I like it.
So I'm just going to level out here real quick.
Are we going to reverse thrust?
Yep, absolutely.
Right, so get ready for...
I want to throw it on slightly in the air before I touch down.
Okay, reverse going on.
No. I'm not even going to use my
Yes.
brakes. I'll just use reverse.
Stall. Stall.
And throttle to idle.
Oh, I'm shaking. Yeah, I did a full reverse thrust there. And I'll tell you what I did in a minute, valued viewers.
Who forgot to put their gear down?
Ah, look at Tux. What a douche.
I went round.
Yes, you did.
Ah.
Yes, that's probably the safest. That was
Yeah.
cool. So what I did, valued viewers, is when we wanted to put our reverse thrust, and you can confirm this or correct this as you want, but I went to idle, and then I smacked the reverse thrust beta button,
Yep.
and that takes it back into there. Again, I had to do a bit of stick wiggling, a little bit buggy at the moment. I had to do a bit of stick wiggling to get it, as you saw, to get it in. Did you have that problem? Was it just a me problem?
So far, it's just you problem.
Right, so just note that might be a thing. That's it, and then I'm going to go just put the throttle up to get out of reverse, and then I'm taxiing like normal, and we'll go and park up and do a shutdown.
All right, so you're on your ramp and you're ready to call it a day. So we're going to start with the APU. We got to turn that on. So we're going to look to the right of the fire handles, and we're going to right click, hold until you see the green light underneath startup.
Roger, off it goes. Can you just give a layman's description of why we're turning on the APU to shut down for people, please?
In between the APU and the electrical system, there's lots of safeguards to prevent a surge or any kind of excessive power to damage any of the systems.
Roger. Right, that's spinning up to 100%. Nearly there.
All right. So then all the way in the top on your electrical panel, top left, you'll see a three-way switch. We're going to switch that to APU. That tells the aircraft to pull the electrical power from the APU.
Roger, that's right. Click. Yep, done.
All right, so once the APU is at 100%, we can go ahead and start turning off the engines.
Yep, so these guys here, I'm going to go left, click, left, click, left, click, left, click.
And I feather my props because it just looks pretty. So to the left of your engine start, you'll see 4 switches, and you're going to click those to go up to the feather position.
Roger, and that actually does it on the model, doesn't it? I know I can't see it from where I am, but yep. Lovely,
Yep.
done.
All right, so by now, all your engines are spooling off, and we're just going to go ahead and up at the top, you're going to that APU switch. We're going to turn that to off.
Done.
Then we're going to physically turn off the APU.
Where is it? There it is, and done.
And then the very last thing, top right, you got the battery switch. That turns off all electrical power, and you should be a cold and dark cockpit.
Roger, open the window. Bob, taxi me into the hangar. Thank you. And that is our video on cold start, on taxi, takeoff, landing, and shutdown. Thank you for gaming, and I'll see you later.